friendly here, and you get to know everybody here virtually. So it's really a nice environment.
Yeah.
And the social part of our place here is it's almost overwhelming. There's with all that you can do here, with everything from games to films to bocce ball, which we're doing, which happy hours. So it's really been a nice experience here.
And there used to be quite a few nice trips before COVID.
Oh, yes,
Yeah,
right.
well, that's
Which
right.
you enjoyed.
And hopefully we will have that opportunity again. We hope.
And one of the nicest things when we moved in is the staff they were just terrific. They were so helpful and so nice. They couldn't do more for us. Anything we needed, they would be willing to help us. And then the second thing that we were pleasantly surprised is we met great people like you. I mean,
down the same hall.
Yeah, down the same hall. The people here are just wonderful people, and
they're very interesting.
Very
people.
interesting.
Such a wide variety of from all over, and still different careers. It's fun to get to know them.
But they don't talk about themselves a lot. You have to actually ask questions and then listen, and you find out.
Yeah.
The first happy hour I went to, there were, I guess, maybe 5 of us around the table. And you may have even been there. And it's a retired Sandia Labs person, a retired IBM gentleman, a person who taught at the University of Brisbane in Australia, geology major. And of course, I spent a career in the investment world. So we had what a wide variety of opinions and experiences to share. Really, and I like that about here.
Yeah.
And we have so many artists here.
Yes.
I mean, we have people that do wonderful artwork, from painting to sculpting to sewing to whatever you do with that printer.
We don't know what you do.
Yeah, but he does it.
interesting.
Actually, that little dog right there is his. I mean, he's very creative, and it's just been really wonderful. We have a little art gallery downstairs, and everyone's been putting an art show together maybe every 3 months to show their artwork, and it's just been terrific. The talent that we have here is amazing, just amazing.
But, there's so many things to like about being here in addition to the social life. And I kind of categorize it one way: lifestyle. I mean, if we travel a lot, all you got to do is lock your door and go, and you're not worried about anything happening to your home while you're gone. Your neighbors pick up your mail, put it in your apartment, and it's just so easy to travel. We have a fitness center right downstairs. I walk down the stairs most of the time, and go work out at 5:30 in the morning. Nobody down there, for sure. And it's just, there's so many things that just make your lifestyle very pleasant here. The questionnaire we got one time, the last question on it was, what do you like most here? And I said, the lack of stress. The fact that I write 1 check a month and virtually everything is taken care of here.
And what's really lovely too is that we have learned to know each other so well in this community. For those of us who moved in almost 5 years ago, that we watch out for each other. You know, we can look at someone and see, you know, he's not walking right, or he looks a little pale, or she's, you know, she looks like she's troubled. So you can personally go up to them and ask, do you need help, or whatever it is. And that's comforting to know that, you know, not only are their staff looking out for you, but even your own neighbors can pinpoint if something's wrong.
Well, and I think that actually talks to the fact that it's smaller.
Yes,
It's not this
absolutely.
huge complex, and so that you really do get to know your neighbors, not just in the down the hall, but across the courtyard. You know, so that it makes it feel more neighborly.
I have the one spouse who is able to live in independent living, and the other one is in some form of medical, care of some kind. And so we have sometimes, when we used to be able to go to the dining hall where people were sitting at different tables, we kind of said we would troll. We would just see somebody that we had never talked to before, or maybe a retired gentleman who worked at Los Alamos who was very quiet, and we would ask if we could have dinner with him. And then he turned out to be a real baseball fan.
Yeah.
And an interesting guy with kids doing interesting things in Nevada and so on, in Washington State. So there's just a lot of opportunities to interact with people and draw them out and enjoy their stories. And that makes life better.
Absolutely.
And I hope it does for the person that we intrude on, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Well, I know where we were living. There would be sometimes maybe 2 or 3 days where I literally wouldn't talk to anybody but Elaine, because she's the only person I would see. I would be staying at home, reading, working in the studio or whatever. But I think some days if she'd gone to volunteer, I wouldn't even talk.
I know.
So when it came to coming here, I think within the first month or so, I may have already socialized more than I had the previous year. Because we would do that. You'd go into the dining room and you'd see a table with
Absolutely.
2 people, you'd sit down. You see a person with 1 table, you'd sit down. And pretty soon you'd have dinner or lunch with almost everybody who lived here. It's more difficult now with more people and with COVID impossible, but that's actually one of the things I miss most right now is not being able to go downstairs for a meal and just walk up to a table where there's somebody just sitting by themselves. Or if we're the first ones there, other people just walking up say, can we? And you just sit down and you have a meal, and the meals last a heck of a lot longer.
Oh, yeah.
When you're eating by yourself in your apartment, a meal is about 10, 15 minutes.
That's it.
Down in the dining room, it was an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And
So-
another thing that was so wonderful is when John and I took our first trip, and we stayed gone for maybe 2 weeks. When we came home and we were getting our luggage out of our trunk, one of the ladies saw us. She was getting groceries out of her car, and she yelled, "Welcome home!" And that just felt so good, to have someone standing there and say, "Welcome home," the minute we landed.
And you felt like you were.
Yeah, and it did. It helped you feel like you were.
That's what you were talking about is important too. I think as you age, socialization keeps you more vibrant and keeps you healthier and so forth, rather than being isolated. And even though you're married and you're talking to your wife, still, I think a broad socialization like that is very important.